Hello. This is Ravindra. I'm a case processing expert in pharmacovigilance. In this video, we are going to discuss the common terminologies used in pharmacovigilance. So, let's start with the basic words in PV worth to mention from slide 1, which are adverse event and adverse drug reaction. Definition of adverse event is any untoward medical occurrence in a patient or clinical trial participant administered a medicinal product and which does not necessarily have a causal relationship with the treatment. An adverse event can therefore be any unfavorable and unintended sign, for example, an abnormal laboratory finding, symptom, or disease temporally associated with the use of a medicinal product, whether or not considered related to the medicinal product. And the definition of an ADR, adverse drug reaction, is a side effect, non-intended reaction to the drug, occurring with the drug where a positive, direct, causal relationship between the event and the drug is thought, or has been proven, to exist. You can remember these two definitions, which are important. And the differences between these two terminologies is that an AE may or may not contain causal relationship with medicinal product. However, for an ADR there is a causal relationship with administration of medicinal product. Now, let's look at what exactly causality or causal relationship means. So, it is an assessment procedure which is used to determine whether a relationship exists between the medicinal product administration and occurrence of adverse drug event. This procedure is common in PV and performed at different levels. A causal assessment can be done by a reporting physician, or by a clinical investigator, or by the professionals who are working in drug safety department of a pharmaceutical company. Causality assessment is the core step involved in signal management process. It is the key factor for new signal identification. It helps in measuring the strength of evidence. Overall, causality analysis is essential for safety data evaluation and performing benefit-risk profile assessment for pharmaceutical medicinal products. So, we have seen what is causality, when and where it is useful in PV, right after the definition of AE and ADR in first slide. Now, let's see these points in what way an AE and ADR can be differentiated. The moment a side effect occurred or reported, that particular effect is called as an adverse effect or adverse event, AE. So, it comes first in PV. Later, upon causality assessment either by reporter or by PV specialist, if a causal relationship is identified, then this particular AE is called as an ADR. If no causal relationship, then it still remains as AE. The simple formula that makes clear understanding between AE is ADR is that combination of AE plus causality equals to an ADR. We can say that all ADRs are AEs with causality. Don't feel like this as repetitive. Understanding the same concept in different ways gives a better clarity. Let's have a look into what is an ICSR and PSUR. Both ICSR and PSUR are common terminologies used in PV. You can get the complete understanding of ICSR and PSUR in other video lectures dedicated separately for these concepts. For now, here, we will see for brief understanding and differences. An ICSR is an individual case safety report that concerns about a single patient who experienced an AE or an ADR after using the medicinal product. In PV, ICSRs are the primary source of data, which can be considered as building blocks for a medicinal product's safety profile. All pharmaceutical companies has regulatory obligation to collect safety data from all possible sources and process them in their proprietary safety database and report to the relevant health authorities as needed. while PSUR means Periodic Safety Update Report, which involves aggregate presentation of all the safety information pertaining to a medicinal product along with other necessary elements which supports the benefit-risk assessment for a particular medicinal product. There are different types of periodic reports and reporting intervals which vary depending upon region, national health authority requirement, or the age of medicinal product, whether it is a developmental one or already marketed one, etc. These aggregate reports are essential in monitoring the consistency of product's safety profile and the overall change of benefit-risk balance.
Oh, you are saying benefit-risk balance. What do you mean by that? Let's have some idea on benefit-risk balance. Here, benefit means we are referring about the medicinal product's efficacy or effectiveness. So, efficacy is the terminology used in clinical trial setting for referring to therapeutic effect when the product is under investigation in a developmental program or study. Or, we can say like this. Efficacy is the extent to which a drug works under ideal circumstances, means, in clinical trials. And effectiveness is the terminology used for referring to therapeutic effect for a marketed medicinal product. Similarly, effectiveness is the extent to which a drug works under real-world circumstances, means, in clinical practice. It's simple. Efficacy term is used in clinical trials, while effectiveness term used in clinical practice. So, the risk refers to the side effects or adverse reactions of medicinal product. The science of assessing benefits and risks and coming to the conclusion whether benefits of using a medicinal product weigh more than the risks of a medicinal product. So, if you see here in this picture, the ideal balance of any successful medicinal product is that its benefits are more in weightage than its risks. A positive benefit-risk balance is essential for a lead molecule to enter into clinical trial. A positive benefit-risk balance is crucial for an investigation medicinal product to gain regulatory approval and enter into the market. A positive benefit-risk balance is essential for a marketed medicinal product to sustain its license in the market. PV system or a pharmacovigilance system. So, as I said in earlier slide, that each and every pharmaceutical company or marketing authorization holder should have a system in place to fulfill the tasks and responsibilities for PV. What is the difference in calling either pharmaceutical company or marketing authorization holder? Marketing authorization holder, simply called as MAH, is a pharmaceutical company which holds a marketing license for a particular medicinal product in a particular country. A marketing license is provided by a regulatory agency to manufacture, import, distribute, or sell a medicinal product in the country. For example, Novartis is a pharmaceutical company and Novartis has active licenses for an oncology product ABC in 25 countries across the globe. So, here Novartis is referred as MAH for ABC product in those 25 countries. It's that simple. Every MAH should have a system in place to fulfill the tasks and responsibilities for PV. And that system has to be designed in such a way that the safety of authorized medicinal products is monitored and to detect any changes to the risk-benefit balance for their medicinal products. So, a PV system majorly comprises of standard operating procedures, SOPs for PV process in the company, qualified experts from scientific and medical background, a company-owned safety database and other systems for smoothing functioning of PV deliverables. Let's see some other common terminologies used in PV. Suspect medication, concomitant medication, and past medication. We usually come across these types of medication categories while processing a case, or even while doing analysis of signals and risks in PV. Suspect medication means a medicine which is suspected as a cause or one of the cause for occurrence of adverse event is referred as a suspect medication. And concomitant medication means a medicine that was taken concurrently along with another medicine, however not suspected as potential causative agent for the adverse event occurrence. Past medication. The name itself says that a medicine which was taken or used by a patient in the past and stopped prior to the start of suspect medication therapy. Let's see an example for better differentiation of these type of medications in PV. On April 4, 2022, a 49-year-old male patient started using a cough syrup having a combination of promethazine and codeine for his continuous dry cough for 4 days and complained of sudden severe headaches followed by his inability to sleep. This male patient has diabetes mellitus type 2 as underlying medical condition for which he is using metformin since the diagnosis on January 23, 2022. It was reported that patient had history of depression from May 2020 to September 2020 for which he had used fluoxetine for 4 months and gradually stopped after recovery from his depressive symptoms. In the above case, cough syrup, promethazine plus codeine is considered a suspect medication as the patient suspected and complained of side effects after using this product. Metformin is a concomitant medication, as the patient is using this medicine before the complaints or side effects onset and being continued for treating diabetes. Fluoxetine is a past medication, as the patient had used this product and stopped long ago in September 2020 and before the start of suspect medication, which was April 4, 2022. So, from the same case example, let's pick what are adverse events, AEs reported, what are patients' concomitant medical conditions or concurrent illness present, and what is the past medical history reported for the patient. Here, severe headache and trouble sleeping are the adverse events reported with the suspected medication of cough syrup, promethazine plus codeine. Patient's underlying diabetes mellitus type 2 as the concurrent medical condition. And patient's depression in 2020 as the past medical history. Hope you got an idea of what is a suspect medication, concomitant medication, and past medication. And what we need to consider as concurrent illness and past medical conditions. By now, you might have got an idea of what a regulatory authority is. Regulatory or health authority is the legal authority that is responsible for regulating all matters relating to drugs and medicinal products in a particular country or region. For example, U.S. FDA is the health authority for regulating medicines in United States of America. MHRA is the health authority for regulating medicines in United Kingdom. EMA, European Medicines Agency, is there in Netherlands for the centralized regulation of medicines across the European Union. Predisposing factors or risk factors. These terminologies are ideally used during causality analysis. So, in the earlier slide, we have got to know what are ongoing medical condition or concurrent illness and past medical conditions of a patient. So the term risk factor or predisposing factors refers to any aspect of the patient's medical condition, other than the medicinal product usage, that could explain as cause for the occurrence of adverse events. Common risk factors included genetic, diet, smoking, alcohol consumption, patient's disease history, etc. Examples include obesity, presence of high blood pressure, diabetes as underlying medical conditions, etc. are considered as risk factors for many cardiac adverse events.
So, that's all in this video. You will get to know more about pharmacovigilance basics from ICSR domain in a structured way in the following videos.